to the BobKast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and the BobKats have had a long time away from Memorial Gym, but they returned later on this week. We'll definitely dive into that during today's show. Joining us once again, like he has every single week, is the head coach of the BobKats, Chandler Levinston-Simon, who's letting his hair out for everyone. I guess he's still in the All-Star break mood. Chandler, how you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. And to my left, it's a Kokomo high school grad, played basketball at Michigan State, longtime pro, playing professional basketball back in his hometown of Kokomo, Indiana. It's Brandon Wood. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with you first. We'll get back to Chandler and the hair in a little bit. How does it feel to play professional basketball in Kokomo?
Man, I've been asked that question quite a bit, and you want to say it's a dream come true, but I don't even think I've ever dreamt this. I think this is something that, as you see players like LeBron and D Rose, get the chance to go back home and play, then you kind of, start seeing what could be, but, I'm here now and it's a reality, and, it'll probably just be surreal for a while.
What was that feeling like, that very first game in a BobKats uniform inside Memorial Gym where you played high school basketball? What was that feeling like when you walked out there, you saw the fans, you were introduced, you were like, man, this is really happening?
Obviously, it was a great experience, but this situation has kind of been in the making for a few years, so I've already envisioned myself in that situation many times within the last few years, so it probably wasn't as out of body as you would think. I felt real comfortable, real poised, and, just ready to play in front of just my family and friends.
Chandler, you've talked about players that you've had connections with for a long time. I think Akeem even said things have been in the works, like trying to see if he can come in. And it sounds like maybe you were implemental in getting Brandon to the BobKats. Is that correct?
So, actually, me and Brandon went to before he went to Michigan State. He was at Valpo, so we kind of I heard of him, knew who he was, and different things like that. And then I got the opportunity to meet him. Was it 2 years ago in training camp?
Yeah.
When he came in. And then we kind of been back and forth and different things like that as, times kind of progressed. And it, kind of just worked out, because it worked out where he was available and he wanted to be here. So
I know that's that feeling. And I know I've been in Memorial Gym. How does this crowd compare to the crowd that you have been played in front of in high school? It's maybe a smaller crowd, but the fans are still wild.
It's a smaller crowd. Not to take away from the Bobcat crowd, it's a great crowd, great atmosphere. But when we were in high school, it was just a different time. I think just the players who were on the team, actually being from here. Yeah, some of these players have, gotten to know people in the community, and the community's gotten to know them. But, it's different when you're from here, and have a team full of guys here. So, it was. It's a great atmosphere now, playing with the Bobcats, but it doesn't compare to back in high school.
Also, too, it was a different time as well.
Exactly.
Because, even when, he's a couple years older than me, even when, I was in high school, the high school basketball was a whole different animal in terms of, because they had the mixtape era of, you really had to be killing to get a mixtape. Now everybody's got one. It's just people, you had to be in the gym to see people. Now it's just kind of, I don't really have to go, and I can kind of, still catch the games online and different things like that.
I was thinking about that mixtape era, and I totally forgot about that, about how you had to be there.
Yeah.
To really see what was going on, and now people can really go to Instagram after the game, less than an hour, less than 30 minutes, and somebody's highlights from the game, or somebody has their own little highlight reel up. It's really changed, and I do think that I love that era. I'm going to an N1 mixtape, N1 game in Indianapolis at Tech High School, and I'm like, I've seen these guys on TV, but actually being there live, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Do you remember that era, that mixtape era? What was that like when you were playing and people were like, oh, man, we actually see you play?
That's a great question. It was so great. What exactly is the question?
What was playing basketball like before social media took over?
Playing basketball before social media? I'm just grateful that I grew up in the generation that not to compare the generations, because we're all great in our own right. We're all where we're at. But, just to not be seeking any validation or any, getting my worth validated from anything outside of what's inside of me. You know, I can see how kids deal and battle with that these days, even adults, you know, young adults, even adults. But so I'm grateful just for being in the era where, you know, you had to earn whatever you wanted, you know, and you actually had relationships with people who confirmed things through you rather than just being confirmed through likes and comments.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of coaches, a lot of my family, people around me who always poured into me and believed in me and accepted me and never really put any pressure on me, you know. So I've always just been able to be at my own pace to this day. So I'm grateful for that because even a lot of my peers, you know, who are later in their career still, whether they're at a space to understand it or not, they're still in that space of seeking that and maybe not even understand what they're feeling, you know? So hope that answers your question.
No, it does. No, it definitely does. Yeah. What was it like for you? Because you played during that time period too.
I mean, it was definitely different because, I mean, we used to have, like, people just fill out gyms, especially in Chicago. Like, people, like, you know who's going to be in the gym. There's games where the Bulls would show up and different things like that. Like, it's just, there's different, just depending on who's playing. Like, if we play Whitney Young, so we have to, you know, oh, man, Jordan's kids are in there. You know, people are coming to see the names of people. And, you know, everybody, they hear about this kid from, he's from the west side of Chicago. Everybody, they feel they're standing room only gyms. You don't see too many standing room only gyms anymore. And that's the I said the downside of social media. It's not, everybody's not in the moment and they're not there for it. Everybody's kind of cool with just catching it later or, you know, I'm gonna watch it from my house.
One thing I do like about like the younger generation that's coming up, and just being out in Arizona, which is kind of like a bigger market as far as the youth basketball. And I think it's a benefit and a good thing if you have the balance as a kid. Is just all these kids, at least out in Arizona, it's like they're all fans of each other.
Yeah.
You know, so they're like really like supporting each other on social media and showing love. You know, and not to take away from that what that means, you know, because that support means a lot. But I think these younger generations, they're very competitive, but at the same time, they're fans of each other. Where like older players like myself and us and adults, it's like everybody's competing, everybody's comparing themselves to each other. Everybody is trying to one up each other, you know. But that's one thing I've enjoyed to see is like how these young kids are really fans of each other, because I was kind of raised the same way in a generation that wasn't like that. So like that's just kind of how I was raised and developed as a being. So it's cool to see that. It's real cool to see that.
Yeah. And also, to the plus side of social media, like all the information's out there too. Because like you look at what's like the huge transition shift in college basketball. With just the fact that like I know that I can go here, I can go there. Like this is I can hit up these guys. They'll tell me what's going on in the program, different things like that. Like it's easier to get that information. Usually like back when like we committed and we're signed, it's like, man, okay, we're on campus. You got the facade version of how things are going to go. And then when you get there, they switch up on you. A lot of schools were like that. So, I mean, there's also that. And then, too, you know, you can kind of write your own ticket. That's another thing, too. Like, you can use social media as a tool. It's a great tool. And the kids have that. And it's beautiful for them.
You know, I was talking to an esports coach at IU Kokomo, and it was his first year that they had the program. So he's coached before, but not at the college level. And I said, hey, how do you recruit in a sport that is a video game? And he's like, well, there's different camps and different competitions that he goes to, but a lot of it is social media. And he'll reach out to people via social media and connect with people that way. And there's a big difference between how people, like I was raised pre-social media. And after high school is when Facebook kind of blew up a little bit. And then you had Twitter and Instagram in their infancy stages, and they started to blow up a little bit there. But we didn't use social media like that when it first came out. But now that it's here, like right now, I do like how coaches are using social media in a positive way. I know some use it in a negative way, which sucks. It's not fun to talk about that stuff. But people can use it to recruit. People can use it to share highlights. People can use it for whatever they want in a positive way. And I do like that part. In just how social media has evolved and people use it to promote stuff. I think you're big in yoga, but you're also the Brandon Wood Foundation. That's a part as those two things as well. Dive into the Brandon Wood Foundation. What is that?
It's a nonprofit organization that I started right when I came out of college. It's given me a platform. My nonprofit and my LLC, Mobile LLC, both gave me a platform to just pour into my personal brand, so it just gave me more credibility, more legitimacy just when I'm approaching people and, putting different parts of, moving parts of communities together. It's just giving me a platform to volunteer, to donate my money, to donate other people's money, to plan events, to manage events. And I'm actually in the transition of a name change. So I'm transitioning it to the Reach for All Foundation.
I like that.
Yeah, so, I knew that, I really didn't know. It's kind of like I had a good foundation as far as like my father went to college, got his business degree. So he kind of gave me that foundation, but I kind of just dove in and really didn't know exactly what I was doing. It just gave me a platform just to, just to grow, grow in a way that is respected by more than just my own peers who I grew up with.
Stuff like that, even the name, Reach for All, like I really like that because just the name itself speaks about what the foundation's about, but also what you're about as far as helping people. Because I do think reaching for all, and just going away from basketball, we'll get back to basketball in a second, but that mindset, so many people need someone that's going to not just reach for them, reach for everybody. Yeah. And I really appreciate you taking that mindset and then using your energy, your time, your resources to really reach for all and help people in that way.
I appreciate that. Originally, it's just been like a vision that's been directed towards the youth and just putting different events together, just bring the communities together, have a positive, good time. But as life progresses, I get more experience. I've gained some more passions, so that Reach for All extends, like you mentioned, way beyond just the kids.
Yeah.
So I've gotten involved in the recovery community. I come from a family of addicts. My parents are addicts. They're both in recovery. They found purpose in recovery, so I've gained a passion for the recovery community. The homeless community, I volunteer. When I'm in Arizona, I volunteer with a group called Barbecue Missions. We feed probably 400 or 500 homeless people every week. And even the incarcerated community, all my friends, it's unfortunate, but it kind of just speaks for what it is and where I come from. I've told a couple of my teammates, they really won't even meet like my real friends, like my best friends, because all of them are either in prison or on house arrest or on work release, so just through those journeys of being with them through their prison biz, being there with their family, supporting them, I've grown a passion for that community too. So I feel like the Brandon Wood Foundation, the name of that did what it needed to do as far as my personal brand and just that name and brand awareness. But I knew it was time for a change as I wanted to pursue higher nonprofit work. Just to change the name. So that's where the name change came from.
I like that. Chandler, how does that line up with what the BobKats want to do with the kids in Kokomo?
It lines up perfectly. That's part of the reason why it kind of worked out when Brandon said he wanted to come here because, one, he big community guy.
Yeah.
Like as much as, like I said, I know he's out in Arizona, but he loves Kokomo, and it's home to him. And I know he always wants to, give back and do different things. If we got different things going on, he's one of the guys that wants to be there. We're in the schools and different things like that, or we're talking to the kids and different, like just everything. He wants to be there and involved in everything we're doing in the community.
I like that. I really enjoy that, and I love seeing the kids, not just the kids, the fans in general. No matter if it's a little youngster that's a fan of the BobKats or the oldest person in the gym, going out there on the court and interacting with the players after the games is always fun. They do it win, loss, does not matter. The fans always support the players on the team and support you as well. Yeah. What has the response been that you've received or people have told you about in regards to the first few games you've coached this year for the team?
Everybody seems to very much enjoy it. It's similar. It's just, there's little slight tweaks, I guess, from years past. The fun's still there. The hard-nosed defense, we're going to play some defense. It's just, a little faster pace. Sometimes it's a little more fun for fans, I guess. But, for the most part, everybody's been pretty happy about it. And also they're happy about the guys that we've had here because, all been solid guys. Hasn't really had any issues or anything like that, too. So
you have been around for a long time, been playing basketball for, I know.
That sounds like I was about 100.
Trying to break the ice. Crazy thing is, you 35? Mm-hmm. I'm 35. We're the same age. Yeah. So I would say the same thing about myself.
It's all good.
But you've been coached by a lot of people, from Tom Izzo to other people along your journey, high school, college, professional. What is it like being coached by Chandler?
Good question. Great question.
I'm not trying to throw these curveballs at you. I'm just trying to.
Curveball. It was a straight fastball. No, it's been cool. You know, I understand where he's at in his career. You know, first year coach. Obviously, a son of an NBA legend. You know, who's had success here, who's been involved in the community. You know, so obviously they're familiar with him. You know, so I'm just, you know, like I've told him, just along with the journey. You know, we've had a couple conversations where we've gotten a little closer, and you know, I'm just here, you know, just to share my experience, you know, not only to the players, but you know, he's a young coach too, you know, who played, you know, but I know my experience, I know the coaches I've played for, you know, so it's just been cool just to be at the beginning of his journey, you know, because now as I follow it, you know, I can kind of see how it plays out, you know, and understand more of where he came from and where he started, and kind of what he kind of probably willingly, but kind of just got pushed into, you know, because it's a lot, you know. I can imagine, you know, what he's experienced this first month and a half, and I'm glad it's not me.
Man, don't nobody want that stress.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm just, you know, as a brother, as a friend, like I'm just proud of him for his first coaching experience, being at a professional level at such a young age. You know, hopefully he doesn't get comfortable here, you know, and uses this as a platform to just continue to pursue his biggest dreams, you know. So, yeah, I'm just following the journey and happy to be here and, you know, trying to help whenever he puts me in.
I know you got something to say because you always do.
No, I mean, I just, you know, one thing that I know, him being here is a big help to me.
Yeah.
Because realistically, you know, when you got veterans on the team, you know, and they're on board with what you're doing, it shows that you're headed in the right direction. You know, because usually a lot of times there's pushback and there's things like that from a lot of, you know, some guys get set in their ways and different things like that. But like I said, the whole time he's been real, you know, helpful and amenable. Like he's like, hey man, well, we probably should change that a little bit. Or,
it's not even like, sometimes it's just silence. Yeah, sometimes it's just that balance of just being silence and, like you said, just kind of picking when to share something and, you know, kind of like, not even it being direct, just like kind of like jokingly, like, you know, so, I think we got a cool relationship and hopefully it just continues to grow.
Yeah, he definitely, it's definitely been a help to me, you know, because like I said, we got guys on the team that are, you know, in their 20s and this might be their first or second, you know, opportunity. So like, you know, they give them somebody to look to and to strive towards, because it's hard to, I guess, know where you're going sometimes when you don't have that, you know, that figure in front of you showing you the way.
Yeah.
That's kind of been my approach as far as like leadership on this team. You know, I kind of have been through a journey that has developed me into a leader. But being a leader, you got to know, pick and choose and know when it's time to lead and how, you know? So for me here, it's being a leader as far as leading by example, as far as pulling these guys into the gym with me outside of practice. You know, so just showing that professionalism, showing how you approach every single moment of practice, every single moment of your day, real intentional, getting something productive out of every single thing that you do. That's just kind of how I've chose to lead here. So I'm just thankful for that opportunity, because it's been a growing experience for me too. You know, even though where I'm at in my career, I try to see what I can take away from every situation, you know, and when I sense something is different than what I've experienced, it's like, okay, this is a moment either to accept it and apply it or do it, or just to kind of think about it and confirm what I've already done, you know. So I'm just wide open, trying to learn and just trying to help these guys move forward.
One thing I like to do when there's players that have played in other pro leagues, did it with Akeem a little bit. How does the TBL competition, when you play those games, compare to other places you've played professionally?
I mean, in this business, you know, it's pretty easy to not find yourself where you want to be, you know, and to be, you know, there's a lot of good. I say that to say there's a lot of good players, talented players. You know, might be more talented than IQ or might be more athletic than can shoot. You know, but a lot of talented players that, for whatever reason, whether it's part of their story and what they experienced through their journey, you know, just find themselves in the TBL working to try to pursue greater dreams.
Yeah.
So a lot of talent. Yeah. So I mean, I've played in so many countries, like literally all the countries that I've played in, I have the utmost respect for the style of play and how they play and the skill level that they play in, whether it was the G League or whether it was second division Israel or the TBL. You know, I kind of like respect everyone the same, and, you know, we're all kind of on that same grind. So, yeah, a lot of talented players, you know, different style of play, definitely. But yeah, man, a lot of talent, and you know, I just in this league, you know, I'm kind of learning about the league, you know, as I'm playing here too. So it's like I'm kind of filling it out and seeing really kind of like what it's for. You know, is it just a league in itself where you can become established in this league and make a career and make a life and hopefully make your type of living in this league, or is it like a stepping stone? It's kind of like a mixture of the two, it seems like. So my encouragement to any players would be like, if you want to pursue more, like try to find agents, you know, try to do some networking, try to connect with people, you know, don't get comfortable, don't get content, because I feel like you can get content in this, you know, and then you kind of look up and it's like, damn, you know, I'm almost 30, you know, or I'm getting later in my, I'm a veteran, you know, these aren't young guys. Like these guys are in a developmental league, but these guys are veterans too, if we're counting how many years we've been playing, you know? So that would be my encouragement, and just like kind of my takeaway from the league is just like, I could see you could get real comfortable in the league, you know, or you could come here, handle your business, get better, know that this is a chance to build your resume, and then continue to network and get to where you want to be. So I'm kind of like learning a lot about the league too, and even like as it applies to in relation to a player like myself, where I'm at.
You view it the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would agree, and I mean that's kind of, I would say, one of the pitfalls of playing in TBL is, you know, some guys get real content and they don't want to go anywhere because home, it's different, you know, it's not too much difference. You don't have to worry about the food, the language, anything like that's outside of, you know, your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then, you know, also too, a lot of guys don't have that. They don't have the confidence in themselves outside of on the court. On the court, they might be some of the most confident dudes, but like when it comes to, hey man, hey, go talk to dude over there because, you know, he's got some connects to do X, Y, Z. Some guys don't have the, like, okay, yeah, I'll get on that, and then just never do it. You know, like some guys just don't, like it's a great learning opportunity for like a lot of different stuff, and how to, you know, how to conduct yourself, how to be a professional. Like this is probably one of the, I mean, granted, I've had my, you know, my family has helped me with, you know, showing me how to be a professional, but you don't really get to do it until you're put in that situation. So I would say like it's definitely a great opportunity for that.
You shaking your head. It sounds like you agree with him.
I mean, what caught my attention for that is just like, I'm thinking I'm here in this position, but I'm thinking about what's next.
Correct.
You know, I'm carrying myself and approaching this. Like when I'm training and you see the last couple of weeks, like I done kicked it up a notch. Yeah. That's not, we want to win this championship, but I'm getting ready for the summer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting ready for next season. You know, like I feel like you can kind of, and that's just with being in the moment and just pouring into my body and my work, you know. So, I forget where I was kind of going with that.
You
good?
Yeah. Are you the same way? Do you find yourself right now kicking it up another gear?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling guys, they were looking at me like I was crazy this morning. I was like, yeah, man, I was up all night. I was like, I started looking at plays, different things like that, different variations of what we got already, how we can change stuff. I was watching the film for the 3 different teams we're playing. I watched the finals last night. So I watched that, and I'm just taking the little bits and pieces and different things, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm just ready to go. And, you know, and part of that is I'm excited for what's next, whether it be, you know, the end of the season or, following that too. Because the one thing I've learned from my dad, he's like, it's great to, be in the moment and have your job, but make sure you know where your next job is going to be.
That's it.
Especially with basketball, because it gets a little hectic.
Yeah.
Like, once the season ends and things like that, it's just, it's like you don't have anything set in stone, but at least have an idea of where how you want to parlay this into what you're doing next.
I've learned a lot just from watching and talking to players like yourself and you as a coach. I didn't get to talk to you as a player. Just learned a lot about the TBL, the passion. And I didn't even think about in season people thinking about the next step. Like that, I think that shows the maturity of basketball players like yourself in the situation, thinking about what's next. I can't just get comfortable where I currently am in the current situation. What's coming up next? Is there another opportunity, or is it something with the family? Like always thinking about what's next. Yeah. What's next for the Bobcats is it's 3 games in 4 days? That sounds exhausting to me. But y'all have done that before. Yeah. I believe first weekend of the
second, third time?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Which is wild. You return to the court on Thursday on the road at Cincinnati. You're home on Friday, the very next day against Medora, and then back home on Sunday, a day off in between those games, home against Glass City. Yes. How does it feel to get back on the court?
Oh man, I'm itching. That might be another reason why I was up all night. I'm just ready to go. All right, because it was almost 3 weeks.
Man, I was thinking the All-Star break was going to be a week and a half. And I'm looking at the calendar, and I got it before the season. I'm like, oh man, you got a week and a half off, and it was a long time away. And I can only imagine you as a player. I know you were staying. You're not gonna get much sleep this week.
Oh, I'm all right. I've already got my prep in. I'm gonna sleep the whole rest of this week.
Are you getting sleep?
Yeah, always. Yeah.
How do you prepare your body for this stretch over the next 3 games in 4 days?
Just keep doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
I've been doing this for my whole life, so it's like I'm just on a long run, and just steady learning about my body. I'm training every day, whether it's practice and then going straight to yoga and then lifting weights after that and then swimming after weights and then come back in the evening, going to yoga, leaving yoga, going to kickboxing, leaving kickboxing, resting, eating and resting. So I'm working out and training 4 to 6 times a day, every day. And my body's built and prepared for that, so, I'm getting stronger every day. I don't know about everyone else, this team or around the league, but I'm getting stronger and better every day still, so I'm feeling real good. And, just like you said, 3 games, 4 days, looking forward to that.
Yeah, nod to that too. I don't think we've seen the best beat Wood. I think he's
everybody has said that. I was talking about some stuff previously with other people.
He's gonna come on. I know there's a game that's coming up, and it's going everybody's gonna be in the stands.
I think you had 18 I think the last game was a home game. Yeah. I think he had 18, and I'm sitting here I've seen you do a lot of amazing things on the basketball court, but something in that game. I was like, oh, something's clicking.
It's starting to get there.
And I was like, oh, it's about to get nasty. Because we talked about Orlando. I've heard about ISO Joe. And then once everything kind of clicks together, I've seen it click right in front of me. Didn't know you were going to say that today. But I'm like, oh, once everybody starts clicking, Brandon, it might get nasty for the other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, this new experience for me, new situation, opportunity to learn, opportunity to understand myself more. And, and I found myself in a new situation, new type of role here to start the season. So I'm just proud that how I approached it, with maturity, with professionalism, just staying prepared for anything, anytime, any place, and like anyone would say, just trying to do whatever I could do for the team.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm looking forward to this next stretch. I think last game, my role kind of changed a little bit, so hopefully we can build on that.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited, just to be out there, contribute to the game, be a part of the game, and just have fun with my guys.
Have the players talked to you about games at Memorial on Friday and Saturday?
What you mean, like
we've only had Sunday games.
We haven't played here on the weekend.
So Friday and Saturday. It's closer to what you remember as crowd wise.
Yeah. So I brought that up. I think was it Larry that was here?
Yeah, Larry.
Larry brought it up and said we've only had Sunday games. We have not had Friday or Saturday night games. And Chandler said it one day talking about how on a Friday or Saturday people are just out having fun, but then they want to have a great end to the evening, go down to Memorial Gym downtown Kokomo and watch basketball. Friday is the beginning of the weekend. People working all day, but they're looking forward to that game that night. And I've been there for Friday and Saturday games, but it's fun hearing it from the players. And I'm looking forward to maybe talking to you after the game on Friday, being like, well, what was it like? And it may be different, it may not. I'm not sure. But that crowd, especially with that long layoff, man, they're gonna be itching, just like you are to get back on the court. I know you are itching to get back. Those fans are gonna be itching to get back to the gym too.
Well, especially too with the high school being done too as well, unfortunately, and then also IUK is they got they just finished as well. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we're the only basketball in town.
Yeah,
right now. This is the basketball town. As much as everybody loves all the other sports and things like that, this is a basketball town. So people are still gonna want to come out and see us.
Yeah. We're going to close this out with a little something we talked about last time with Fudge. We talked about if there was a 3-point contest for BobKats players, only the team. I asked Fudge who would be 6 players that would compete in a 3-point contest and a dunk contest. Your name actually came up in both, on the dunk side and the 3-point side. The dunk contest participants he picked, of course, he was in the TBL one, so he was automatically put into it. Mm-hmm. Him, you, TJ, and I want to say it was Trey Mitchell.
Yeah.
And then on the 3-point side, it was TJ, you, Brandon, Joe, Larry, Trey Barber, and Akeem. How do you think things stack up in that 3-point contest?
Talking about for everybody else?
Well, no, for you. Like, how do you think? You would
got
do?
That wrapped up.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
We might. I'm telling y'all, like I've mentioned it before. We might have to put this together, put it on camera.
I mean, we definitely talked about it like practice here and there. Like I've joked around about, we're gonna do a 1-on-1 tournament, or we're gonna do like during the break. I was thinking of different things we could do during practice. We talked about it, but I definitely would love to see it because I mean, one thing that like not too many people know during training camp, he had 30 in one half.
You said that.
We played that game. He had 30 in one half.
2 days in a row.
2 days in a row, yeah. We had 10 threes back to back and then
I think another time like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild.
Sometimes you gotta turn it up. Sometimes boys think it's sweet, just because I'm quiet, but they know what's up.
Yeah. As I said, like when he locked in, he's locked in. I don't think there's too many people in the league that have a ability to stop it. Because, I mean, realistically, there's a reason why he also, was in the finals for probably should have won the 1-on-1.
Man, so somebody said, and I forget if it was you or Fudge last week, that they didn't start using refs until halfway through.
Game point, like almost game point.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you do that? I don't understand how you
It wasn't even ref. It was the owner of the league and the
commissioner.
The owner of that home team, right?
No. So Wiley's the commissioner, and then Magley's the owner of the league. Yeah.
I would have just let refs do it.
That's where the semi comes in.
Yeah.
That's why it's like I'm between sometimes that semi pops in.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm not diving into that. What's your last comment you have for Bobcat fans heading into the return to the court that they'll get to watch on Friday?
Come on, sport. Honestly, we'd love to have you. Come on, sport.
Same thing. What's the last comment you have about returning to the court for Bobcat fans to get them to come out on Friday?
Bring your ass out.
You heard it. This was Chandler Levinston-Simon, the head coach of the Bobcats. You got Brandon Wood here as well, Kokomo native, Kokomo High School grad. Really appreciate them coming on the show. I am your host, Jay Stevens. We'll see you next time.